All right, good morning, e-learners. I'm going to say this every time, so you'll get used to it.
So they can hear us right now?
As of right now, yes, they can.
Yeah.
And starting on Monday, then we're going to do it live and give them the ability, if they want to join us during class. All right, if you have a question right now, it better be a good one. Go.
I just wanted to double check that do we put our name underneath the number in our books?
No, right where it says issue 2. All right. Okay, so in a regular class, why is this not projecting? Oh, that's bad. Okay.
Is it maybe because the lights are off?
No, it's just being finicky.
Maybe.
Go. Huh? Perfect. Sorry. All right. So in a regular class, like what we will be starting next week, and we're rolling, right? The first slide I will show you is, let's go over homework, right? Get your homework out. Let's go over it. Any questions? Nope. All right. Grab a pen. Let's grade this sucker. All right? Literally that quick. Not that quick like, hey, I ran into big problems on number 10. Could you explain it to me? Sure. So if you have problems, you come like, hey, I didn't get, I didn't get these 40 problems, we got big problems. Can't address that. But typically it's like, I didn't get number 12. I'm like, yeah, I didn't get that one either. That sort of thing. So we'll go over number 12. Then I'll say, all right, guys, let's grade this. I will call out the answers. You will grade your own paper. Top of the paper, you will put how many you missed. I don't need to know how many you got right. I need to know how many you missed. That way, when I'm grading your paper, one, it speeds up my process. And then two, I can see that the whole class, hey, they all missed number 12. Maybe I need to reteach it, that sort of thing. All right, if you're messing around with papers or things, stop. Just put it down and pay attention. Thank you. The next thing I'll show you is a calendar. A calendar is nothing but situational awareness. That's just a big fancy military term for what's going on, what's going to happen, right? So the top row right here, Monday through, I don't count the weekends, Monday through Friday. Top row will always be the week that we're in. There's no like dates here, right? So I put 3 weeks out. You can look at it. Hey, remember, we didn't come to school Monday or Tuesday. Then we had 2 days of, we didn't do much of anything other than introduce ourselves to each other. Today, we're doing chapter 1, section 1. Make sense? What are we doing next Friday?
Chapter 1, section 3.
Right, so if you look in your book, chapter 1, section 6, that's what we will do. Now, this is tentative, meaning things could change, right? Snow day or something like that. I don't know if or we slow down, we need an extra work. What's the next thing you need to worry about, grade-wise? Quiz on next Thursday. We'll talk about it, right, as we get closer to it. And then, a little bit over 2 weeks from now, we got a test on that Wednesday. I'm not saying in your planner you need to, test next. Some kids like that, right? Other kids like to look at the calendar like, okay, I just need to start worrying next Tuesday or Wednesday. And then I got a week to go before that test. But some kids like to literally, next, 2 weeks from now on Wednesday, there's a test. Any test I give the day before is a review. I give you a copy of the test, except on the test I change the numbers, right? But I will give you a copy of the test. Everything that's going to be on the test minus a word problem or 2, okay? All right, so chapter 1, section 1. Some kids open up their books to that. Other kids don't, right? It's entirely up to you. All right, the very next slide will be, what is your homework for tonight or over the weekend? So in your planners, I know you don't have planners. So get something out that you're not going to lose and write this down. Now, when I assign homework, I'm going to talk while you're working. When I assign homework, I will either assign all or evens. I don't assign odds. The answer to the odds are in the back of your book. And it's not because I don't want to assign odds. It's because I want to make sure I give you some that you can't find the immediate answer to. If you struggle with a couple of these, look at the odd one that's close to it or next to it, right? Standard math books that you've seen before. So tonight for homework or over the weekend for homework, you've got page 4, the written exercises. Almost always it's the written exercises. Our book has classroom exercises, written exercises, and if there's word problem section, it's called problems. Almost always. Hey, look over here in the classroom. What does that say? If you show up late and you're like, I didn't come down the homework, I'm not going to pass, right? You come up here on this sheet of paper, guess what it says? It says the homework. I will literally have a couple eager beavers in here that as soon as the bell rings, they come running up here. They come right up here because they want to write down their homework. All right? Absolutely. I'm never going to stop that. But what it's really designed for is the kid that comes late. Or, hey, I don't want the Donna's appointment. I missed your first period class. Right? During lunchtime or student advisement, you come up here and you write down your homework. Make sense? I'm pretty good at keeping this up to date. I don't like put it a week out. You know, whatever is listed here, it's got the date and the date that I have listed is the date that I teach it. Homework is due the next class period. So when is this homework due? I'm playing golf tomorrow morning. I don't know about you. Monday. Yes. It better be a good question.
Yeah, so just to clarify, all we have on this page 4 for tonight.
Whatever it says right here is your homework. And if those of you that have your book open, you're like, oh my word, this is simple stuff. Remember, math books start off nice and easy. During class period, I'm not going to allow it this class. I don't know any of you, mathematically speaking. I usually say, hey, if you want to get started on your homework while I'm teaching, knock yourself out. If you can pay attention in class, and you can answer my questions. I'm going to ask you all questions today. I don't care if you just get started on your homework during class. Others of you, you're not going to want to do that. And I might tell you, hey, I never want you to do your homework during class period. Some of you that look at, especially that today's an easy day. I keep saying that. If it isn't easy for you, I apologize for offending you because I just called you, I don't know, slow or something like that. Because you say, this is pretty hard stuff. We'll see. You guys ready? Better be a good question. Okay, so there is an open desk right there. And if that's not good enough for you, then we'll move somebody from the front row. Thank you, though. Anybody else? Vision? All right. This is the size of the text that I use right here. So if you can't see that, you absolutely need to do what he did. Good job. All right. To do homework, I don't think I'm any different than any other math teacher, but maybe you haven't had a good math teacher before. What are you going to put on your homework? Well, that's after you turn it in. What are you going to put on your homework? All right. So it's things. So I once had a kid's name was I'm Lane. Yeah. Nobody?
I'm Lane.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. So put your first name, last name. Do not put your first name. Put your first name and your last name. Right? The next line should be what teacher this is for. Right? Hey, you can put Mr. C, that's fine. Underneath that, you need to put what period you're in. I teach 2 7th grade course 1s. Your homework is on the floor. It doesn't have your name. It doesn't have my name in the period. I don't know whose it is. It better be a good question. Go.
Under it or the side?
Exactly the way you see it. I know I said that. Good one. All right. And then I need the date. So the date tells me that you weren't absent. I'll have kids say, hey, I was absent for 4 days or whatever, and they put a different date. And I go, oh, this kid was absent. Okay? Make sense? Anything weird about that? Yes.
You want to start the number or the
Whatever floats your boat. Yes.
So what I used to do is I used to put my name in one corner.
Okay. So we're going to talk about upper school stuff. That is a lower school question. An upper school question was, you were mumbling. I didn't hear you. What did you say? A lower school question is something that kind of slows us down. It's anecdotal, that sort of thing. I love my 7th graders, and it is a good question, but it doesn't progress the learning. Okay? All right. I need to know what I'm grading. We're going to have homework every single night. You're going to have 7 or 8 of these, in that first chapter. You need to put the section. I have it here in the middle. You can put it underneath. I don't care. But somewhere on it's got to say section 1.1, especially when you're sick and you're turning in 5 assignments at once, right? I don't need to know the page number. I just need that. That's plenty. Who's lost? All right, what are you lost on?
So for the homework, are we putting it into our or 3-ring binder or onto this page?
A 3-ring binder, spiral notebook, you know, a separate sheet of paper.
And if so, what's
This is for class work. So that when you finish the class, it's a good question, right? When you finish class, you get home, you're like, I've forgotten everything. I don't even know what we learned today. You got a sheet of paper with problems already worked on that will be like the homework. Make sense? All right. When you write the problems, this is a 7th grade issue. Guess what you're not going to write? Well, you're going to write 1, but guess what you're not going to write? You're not going to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Why? Go. You have no idea how long it's going to take you to do question number 1, right? As you get higher in math, the space that you need to do each problem gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay? There are times I talk fast. I pause. There's times I talk slower. I'm talking fast. We're not talking about high-level stuff. Okay? So you're going to write the problem, unless it's a word problem. You're going to write the problem. What did I just say?
Write the problem.
I don't care if it says 2 + 5. You're going to write the problem. Okay? And then you're going to write the answer. Right? I would love for you to circle your answer. Do I circle my answer? I do. Yes. All right. I would love for you to circle your answer. When we grade this, the very next class period, I'm going to say the answer to number 1 is 20. The answer to number 2 is 30. That quick, right? Having it circled allows you to grade quickly. Is it a good question? Go.
If it's a word problem, do I write it?
I literally just said, if it's a word problem, you don't need to write it. Okay? But it is a good question. Okay. Does this make sense? All right. Then, once you're done, you write number 2 and do number 2. I also don't want you to do things horizontally. You know what I mean by horizontally? So here's the first step. I wrote the problem. The second step is you're doing order of operations here. You write it over here, you can't see your work. Math is done vertically. One step, second step, third step, fourth step, fifth step. It's done not horizontal. Now, if you only use this amount of space, you got all this empty space right here, draw a line down the center, you got a whole other page, or a half page you can use. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, that is good or bad homework? That is bad homework. 1, I don't even know what it's just got a number there. I'm not going to say you're cheating, right? I got plenty of kids. This is hard for 7th graders to learn. It was an easy problem. I just looked at it and I knew the answer was 5. Write the problem down, show me your work, get to an answer and circle it. Yes?
Do you want to write the number of the problem on the book or
I want you, so what did I assign for homework?
sign?
So guess what your first one is? I want to see a 2. I want to see the problem written. I want to see your work and then circle your answer. Good? Okay, bad. Here we go. So I will start by saying, hey, today we're going to be learning about mathematical expressions. Lesson 1 or chapter 1, section 1. Next, I will show you the objectives. Sometimes I will spend some time on the objectives. Most of the time, I won't. Sometimes the objectives, if I read them, you don't even know what they mean. I will cover the objectives at the end of class. Hey, here's what you learned, right? Or sometimes in between. Hey, you just learned how to add 2 numbers together, that sort of thing. When we're kind of like doing a review, I might go over the objectives. Most of the time I just say, hey, there's the objectives, eyes glass over, because I'm going to cover this again at the end of class. And then we start. Here we go. Puppies! How many puppies?
6, 7.
There might be like
I saw another one.
There might be 6, there might be 7. The word puppies, the number of puppies equals, I don't know if my count's right, 6, right?
usually there's
Stay with me, right?
10.
I got a box, there's puppies in there. How many puppies are in the box?
7. You don't know.
No. In math, there are plenty of times we don't know what the answer is. There is a number of puppies inside the box, but I don't know how many there are. So guess what we do in math?
Shake the box.
You can't touch the box, you can't look in the box. I need to somehow represent the number of puppies in the box. What do? I don't guesstimate, but I could. That would be a math technique. I use a variable to represent how many puppies are in the box. Now, if there were 6 puppies in this box, right? I might not know though, right? So when I don't know how many puppies in the box, I use in math terms a variable. A variable is a letter that represents a number. That's it. Welcome to algebra. This is algebra, by the way. Okay? So write this down, please. In box 1, you see where box 1 is? On your sheet of paper? You see where box 1 is on your paper? It literally says 1, force 1. That's box 1. There are 2 boxes in there, right? This says 1A. That means we're right in the top box. In yellow, almost always I put in yellow what I want you to write down. Almost always. Somebody will catch me when I don't do that. Write this down. A variable is a letter or symbol that stands for a number. I don't know how many puppies are in the box, but if I want to talk about the number of puppies in the box, in math, I need to use a letter to represent that unknown number of puppies in the box. Variable, a letter or symbol that stands for a number. You need to write fast and efficient in my class. A letter or symbol that stands for a number. Who can give me an example? Go. X could represent what?
A number. The X is a variable.
Okay. Can I use any letter? I can. How many letters do we have in our alphabet? Somebody. 26. So you got 26. 27? Is it 26 or 27?
26.
I hope you know it's 26. Yes.
What happens if you have so many variables in the problem that you run out of letters?
Boom. That's the best question I've ever heard from a 7th grader. We'll talk about that in 8th grade. Right? I'll tell you the answer after class. Yes. That is a problem, by the way. Yes. And I will tell you why in 9th grade. Why X is the most common variable. It has something to do with Spanish and Arabic. All right. Puppies. The number of puppies in our boxes, we don't know. So we use this weird looking X. Paradoxically, X also looks like, that's a problem. So the way this X looks like, that's a variable. If it's straight, that's multiplication. All right. I think I literally going to say this. Usually, not always, and not required, we like our variable to literally represent what we're talking about. So instead of using X for puppies, P is a better choice, right? Okay. Except puppies have problems with P. All right. So a quick example. How many days does it take you to clean your room? I don't know. So what variable am I going to use to represent that? Somebody new. What do you think? That's a good choice. Do you have to use, he said D for day. Do you have to use a D? No, you could use X. D's a good choice, right? So the number of days, D's a good choice. Hey, I'm only using lowercase. Could I use uppercase? No. Absolutely, I could use uppercase, right? But there's a problem. Is lowercase x the same as uppercase x? Well, it's still x. So we're going to be very careful, right? I shouldn't say that. We are going to typically only use lowercase, but uppercase will be used as well too. All right, so I literally, I'm telling you that right there. Either one of those is fine. All right, how many apples can one person eat in an hour? What am I going to use? Somebody new. I need to have my clipboard. Go.
We don't know.
We don't know, so we need a variable. So what are we going to use? Malachi.
How's in the back? You moved him.
Oh, duh. Elijah, what are we going to use for apples? Yeah, sure. Hey, you could use X. All right, box 1B, write this down. Notice you've already had this written down in box 1A, right? You're going to write down what's in yellow. All right, variables. It can be any letter. Any letter, yes. Variables can be upper or lowercase. So there's a second thing you should be writing. Oh, by the way, you will learn this. I rarely get mad at students. It may sound like I'm mad, like he's yelling at that kid right there. That ain't how it works, right? If I get mad, I'm probably not doing my job as an adult in the room, right? So even though it may sound like I'm upset, right? I'll tell you if I'm upset. But if I'm yelling or in your face or something like that, I'm just doing teacher stuff. Yeah.
So we do this in the second box?
Yes.
Because for us, it's not letters, it's numbers.
Well, just remember, we're still on box 1, but we're in the second box B.
Because for us, it doesn't say like.
I know it doesn't. I know it doesn't. So if I broke it up into 3 parts, and then my slide would say 1A, 1B, 1C. Yes. Absolutely, 100%. As long as you understand and you are, I will tell you when you can't do that. Like there may be a few times that's not true. All right. Hey, here's some high level stuff right here. You're not going to see this. Actually, no, we will see this year. There are symbols. This actually isn't a symbol. This is the Greek letter. They have a letter for the TH sound, right? Anybody know? This is the Greek letter.
0.
Looks like a 0.
It's an O. It's an O.
Looks like an O. It ain't an O. This is the Greek letter TH, and it's called theta. And we use theta a lot in math. I just throw that out there. That's just extra information there. You won't see that in our book. All right. So variables can be any letter, upper, lowercase. We can also use in symbols, although that's technically not a symbol. That's just a letter in a different alphabet. And we love using the Greek alphabet in math and in science. Pi is a symbol, but it's actually the Greek letter P.
Oh my goodness.
I got it
If your name is Peter, when you write it in Greek, you use the pi symbol. It's not a symbol, it's a letter. Yes,
Is that don't we use the Greek letter alpha? Well,
we use them all.
Oh.
Alpha, omega,
Do you know
theta.
Do you know what the most common letter for and math for math? Do you know what the most common
X.
Greek letter is?
A Greek letter. In math, it would be probably theta. As you go in higher level math, it kind of changes, but theta is the one that you will see throughout high school. All right, moving on. Next idea. Write this down, box 2 in yellow. Operations. This means add, subtract. We just make up words. Why don't you just say, hey, you're doing adding, subtracting? Because this is how long it takes to explain it. That's the word we use. If we talk about a math operation, right? If we talk about a math operation, we're just simply saying, hey, we want you to add, subtract, multiply, divide. There are others. We will get to at least one of them that's not listed there. So I don't need you to write this down, but in case you need to visually see what I'm talking about. What's the symbol we use for addition? Go. The plus symbol, right? Right. So the operation symbol is that thing. I don't want to insult your intelligence. Subtraction, if you don't know, you don't belong in my class. However, multiplication is new. All right. Who can tell me every way that you can show multiplication? How about Parker? What do you got? Give me the symbols for multiplication. An X, a dot, 2 more. I don't want to call them same people, but I do have to call somebody with a hand because you guys obviously don't know. What do you got? If a number is right next to a parentheses, 3, and then the last one.
When the numbers are next to each other.
No, but you're close. What do you got?
Like on that clock when the numbers are.
That's another operation symbol we'll talk about.
The numbers are on top of each other.
No, that's division. All right, I'll show you. All right, X, you got that. You got the dot. This is the one you didn't say. I think this is what you're trying to say. If the numbers are next to each other, it's 3 and a 3. That means 33, right? But if you have a number and a variable next to each other, that means multiplication. That means 3 times A. Have you seen this before?
Yeah.
Okay, it's okay if you say no. And then you told me I could have a number and anything else with parentheses, right? These two mean exactly the same. 3 times A or 3. You're like, why do I put parentheses? Generally, no, well, I shouldn't say that. But typically, there'd be another number instead of a variable. If it's a variable, we would write it like that. Who's lost? Right? What are you lost on?
The last part you just said.
This just means 3 times A. Usually, it won't be A, it'll be a number. It'll be a 2. That would be 3 times 2. Okay? Notice there's no space or no other operation symbol between the number and we call this the open parentheses. Okay? I gotta talk. All right. Division, obviously a division symbol. There's one other way to write division. What do you got?
Put the number on top of the other number.
That's called the fraction bar. Fraction bar. All right, that might be new for you. You're like, that's not division. Yeah, that's division. That's 1 divided by 2. No, that's a half. That's 1 divided by 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know we don't need to write this down, but is it important?
No, I mean, we're going to catch on to this. Yes.
There's also another one. For
What do you got?
It's so it's kind of like a half box that goes like this, and you put the.
So he's saying we could do the long division symbol. Yes, true.
Um,
But you're not going to see that. We're going to be asked to do that, but we're not going to visually. They don't set up a division problem like that.
Are fractions just
Yes,
division?
it is. That's what it means. It just means division. Last comment, and we're moving on.
Doesn't it mean we should divide the percentage?
The percentage symbol means divide by 100.
Oh, yeah.
It's some number out of 100. Technically, I would say it's a fraction bar still. Okay. All right, next. Write this down, box 3A, expressions. Expressions. We are not going to finish today.
Oh, yeah.
It's a combination of numbers, variables, separated by an operation symbol. So you're going to have a number or numbers, a variable, separated by one of those 4 operation symbols: add, subtract, multiply, divide. You're going to have a number or numbers and a variable, or not, could be just numbers, separated by operation symbols. Example, hey, look, number, say it, operation symbol. That's an expression. Guess what it doesn't have?
an equal sign.
Does not have an equal sign. If it has an equal sign, it's a
Equation.
an equation. An equation is actually made up of 2 expressions. 2 expressions separated by an equal sign. Expression on the left, expression on the right, equal sign in between. An expression is just simply 2 numbers, 2 variables. Could be 3, could be 4, right? Separated by operation symbols. Is that an X or is that a multiplication symbol?
Multiplication.
This is hard, right? Is that an X or multiplication symbol? See the difference? Wait, there's no operation symbol, or is there? We're lazy in math. For some reason, multiplication, we don't have to use it all the time. This is how you will typically see numbers and variables put together through multiplication. We generally don't use parentheses for that. That's how you'll see the dot used. We good?
Yeah.
Is this new for anyone? All right, we are like 1 minute away, and no, 2 minutes away. I'm gonna see how far I can get in 2 minutes. All right, quick note. Oh, we just made this. Expression, equation. Expression, equation. An equation is made up of this expression, and well, it's just the number 5, but this expression, it could be more on that side. Okay? Expressions come in 2 flavors, right? Chocolate and vanilla. I don't know which is which. The first one, if there's only numbers involved, we call it a numerical expression, box 3B. You can just write numerical expression and put an example. It only has numbers and operation symbols. We'll call that the chocolate flavor, or maybe that's more vanilla. So like 2 plus 3, 2 times 3. It's just got numbers. There's no variables. That means the chocolate flavor would be, you have numerical expressions, you also must have,
Non-numerical.
what would that include?
That would include like that would include like letters like.
That would include a variable. So we have numerical expressions and we have variable expressions. Now remember, a variable expression can have numbers as well too. But a numerical expression can only have numbers. It's pretty easy, numerical, numbers. Variable, you'd think that that would only have variables, but for some reason, mathematicians decided that variable expressions would also. These are examples of variable expressions. So all those in blue are numerical. All of those that are not in blue are variable expressions. And we got to end right there. We have not done enough to assign homework, right? unfortunately, we're going to have to finish this on Monday. Meaning, I can't have you do your homework. If you want to try it, some of you guys absolutely positively could knock out your homework right now. I will finish this class on Monday, and then we'll get started. It's not going to take me the whole day on Monday to do this class. So, what did I just say? If you want to try your homework, you can. Many of you could probably do it. I just haven't described what evaluate is in simple form. Okay, we'll do that. Yeah, we'll do that on Monday. Have a great weekend. Those are your books. Take care of them, and you guys can depart. I will clean the classroom.
You know what I hate? Being pressure. That's what triggers my anxiety.
So when I get close to you and I yell, are you going to get triggered?
That's what I hate.
Okay. Well, you didn't freak out today, so that's good.
My anxiety triggers every time I feel like I'm being
And
pressured on the
I know.
test.
You'll get used to how we do things.
I had a teacher, the only way he talked to us was through screaming at us.
Yeah.